Hello everyone, Krydex here, and welcome back to pYanodon's. It's been a good weekend for me, played a lot of Path of Exile, and I'm ready to dive back into some Py. I was looking at kind of this build right here, and I was realizing that we need to parameterize this. So that's, I think, what we're going to do first as a little warm-up to remember how to play this game. So the problem, it's just another type of station. I feel like I'm getting too many types of stations. I'm starting to wonder, so you know how we have strong side and weak side for each? Should I instead make this a two-part blueprint where we have the station and then we have a strong side belt and a weak side belt? Potentially? I don't know. It feels like too many blueprints is going to get annoying, but also having more specified blueprints means I have to do less clicking when I build them. I have to do more scrolling, but then once I find the one I want, I don't need to click as many times. So why don't I just add another pair? Just add another pair of blueprints. So this needs to be... so we're gonna call this toilet paper. Means trash provide. Now it could be a byproduct provide. Remember, we finally figured out what we're doing with global trashing. And we are global trashing stone, gravel, and sand currently. Which means if they show up on channel 2, which is kind of like channel 3, because channel 3 represents channel 1 and 2. But anyway, all that to say, if we're global trashing something, we only want... Well, what am I saying? I don't really know what I'm saying. I guess just if we're local trashing something, we never need to global trash it. So like, I don't need to global trash biocrud yet, because this is going to get rid of all the extra biocrud. Whereas with stone, locally trashing it isn't as necessary, because it would need a burner, which it can't always fuel itself. If there were electrically sourced burners, I wonder if I would ever globally trash something. Because we can already utilize the byproduct network, you know, which is what we're doing here, for making side products. And that way this will fill up. Eventually it'll turn on to channel 2. This should be a higher priority as well. Did we say 50? I think 50 is the default. 50 feels high, but it's fine. Okay, anyway, so to actually produce this system, by the way, one other thing, someone was kind of conjecturing a version of this nonsense that would actually work, and I don't know if I mentioned this in the episode, but one other reason I don't want to go with this solution is because what if, you know, and just a quick reminder, this solution was where we would kind of change all the signals so that for a brief moment, only the trash one would be provided, and it would only be on channel, well, it would be on channel 3, aka 1+2. And in that moment though, what if the trash requester wasn't hungry? It would be a nightmare, because then we'd stop providing these other things that we actually need to be providing to the main network for that moment. So I really think it's probably a mistake to do that unless you have a guarantee that your global trashers and stuff are always hungry. So anyway, let's go ahead and make what will be provide extension strong side and weak side, and then we need to modify this to be the same system where we copy that in. And it's okay that everything's linked up together there, I think. Because it goes provide only when parameter 0 is greater than, we'll just say 3000 for now, then output 2A. And then the priority should be 50, and the station name should be TP, because it's a trash provide. And then that whole get up, we copy over to this one. Okay, and then, but it is on channel 1 by default. Can I just say how much I love this? This little thing right here has already saved me a dozen or more combinators. And I mean, it's a change that happened fairly recently in Factorio's history, only, you know, a month or two ago. So, what are we doing here? So now I need to copy strong side. And select new contents. Boom. So strong side, trash, extension, use the little trash icon. And then we need to parameterize, reconfigure that to 0, and 3000 needs to be a formula of P0S. No? What did that say? P0 underscore S. Shouldn't that be stack size of parameter 0? Am I missing how that works? Have I forgotten how this works? Wait, what? Doesn't that need to be a 0? Why am I getting confused? Stack size of parameter in. Do I need to name it? Oops. Trashed item. Unknown variable. P0S. I seem to remember this sort of issue before, and I'm trying to remember how we fixed it. Shoot. Okay. So what if I select something that has a correct stack size? It just... Wait, what? Okay, it works? No, that's 10 stacks. What the heck? Oh, because I did times 10. The formula's working. Why does it act like it's not working then? That's so annoying. Okay, so 30 stacks. And then that works. Okay, I don't know why it's bugged like that. That's super weird. Create a copy. I actually want the multi... to be first, and then trash is last, and then fluid, provider, and requester. And then I need a fluid trash, I guess, to be complete. So this is weak side. And then parameterized wise, I don't think we need to do anything else. Okay. And then finally, what am I doing? Now we need the fluid one, which is somewhere over here. Yeah. And that one is not a stack size. But I'll probably just do 50K as kind of my default. This is gonna get interesting when we get bigger train wagons. I still don't know of a good way we could be setting it up now to handle bigger trains. I think what I'll probably do is I'll add in the bigger trains, but also keep the little trains in the system. And then I'll slowly revamp storage areas and tanks for high volume situations. Because I just don't have a good way. I mean, it would just be unfeasible to set it up now for tier 3 trains. I mean, they carry, what was it, 75,000, 100,000 fluid? Yeah, 75,000 fluid, which is just too much for me to be moving around right now. You know, and then the tanks have to, if we want like more than one train full, we need a minimum of over 100,000 for a tank. It's just a lot. It's a lot. Anyway, this is my trashing station for fluid. Take it or leave it. So let's see, why don't I copy this, paste it, F provider, F requester. So we want probably the provider as a template. And then we delete these guys. Connect that to the output. Provide only. This is trash fluid provide. Or fluid trash provide is probably better. FTP. TP and FTP. And then station priority 50. And then we gotta copy the little doodadarino right here. And then that's gonna be parameter 0. And then we attach it. And we're gonna say 50,000. And then in the other case, what did we have? We had a, does that fit? in a 3 square setup. 1, 2, 3. It actually does. So because it fits in a 3-spaced situation, I actually think I'll have the tank as part of the blueprint. And that makes things easy for me. I almost want to put it right there. But I think I like leaving that space open for a variety of reasons. It'll just be a little weird when the tank's on this side and I'm pumping out to that side, but honestly, I don't think it's worth having 2 versions. We could have a version where the tank's on this side, of course, but that's more just for visual than anything else, because these long niobium pipes are already good enough to handle, you know, all of that noise. Anyway, so that goes there, and then this gets attached to that. And that's filtered. This doesn't need to be filtered in any way. Because there's only one type of thing being trashed here. And what I still haven't done is made a super trasher for fluids, right? That's what I haven't done. Right now, fluids are 1 per, byproduct fluids are 1 per station at most. So once I have more than 50,000, we say, hey, it's available for the byproduct network. If something's hungry, it'll come pick up a set, and then it'll be back to providing to the regular network. And maybe I should do slightly over, no, 50,000 is fine. Okay, so now we blueprint, F provider, make a copy, F trasher. Okay. Oh, I need to actually select contents for the blueprint. Save, and we are good to go. Sweet. Okay, so that's done. That feels good. Vrauk food is going. And what were we gonna do with Vrauk food? I have very little memory of what exactly was going on over here. So I know we wanted to start work on Vrauk 2s, but I can't remember what all even goes into those puppies. Well, I mean, they're not puppies, they're giant ants. Sap, moss, flora, all that jazz. Pretty much everything I already have, plus Vrauk food. That's it. Oh wait, no, this isn't the loop. What's the Vrauk 2 loop? So the Vrauk Mark II breeding program is this one. And it doesn't require anything too specific right now either. We'll just need to steal some cocoons from the main production. Okay, we just need to request food over there and then call it a day. Let's go do that. And then this is gonna be a good time. Okay. So, do I need another repro complex, or am I just gonna live with less formic acid for a minute? First off, let me double check my Vrauk production. Have we been consistent? We've been very consistent. But very consistent in the wrong way. This is supposed to be 30 a minute. That means these are not running full time. So what's the problem? Looks like it's the moss on this one. There's not quite enough moss on the belt. Well, that's a shame. That's easy to fix. Let's bump that up to 400. And that should fix our problem. You know what? I just realized, I hadn't even realized it before now, at least if I did, I've forgotten that I realized it before now. But it's really, sushi belts are just awesome. Because the side loading method that we've been using naturally is a low priority. So the stuff that's already on the sushi belt is going to keep getting to go. And so that way you're not side loading and blocking up the belt with it. Man, I love these sushi belts. I just love them. They're just great. I will note we still don't have proper fluorospolinen and biomass get a rid of her situation. But given how few are in here already, I don't think that's going to be a problem anytime soon. Anyway, okay, so that's a little bit more... Yeah, see, that's not filled up on moss. Okay, so it was definitely moss that was the problem. And potentially a little bit of flora. I'm gonna knock that up by 350, 10% more. Okay, so anyway, cocoons are making the rounds. And so what we need is a repro complex, and we need Vrauk food. And I'll probably let logistics spots handle this, because I don't want to belt it. And I don't think I want to caravan it. Though I do have a caravan outpost right here that's connected to a requester, so I certainly could. But for now, I'm just going to go strong side, request, extension. Put that here. Merge that. We're gonna go with Vrauk food on request threshold of like 4 stacks. We'll request 5 stacks. And we'll just load directly into a provider chest. Okay. So that's done. I don't think I need to do anything else. Vrauk food. R. Is it possible to put the item's name into the parameterized station name? I don't know if that's possible, but that would be dope if it was. Now. Definitely need a bot charging area nearby. And then that needs to make it all the way down to the Vrauks over here. Let's get a couple of these bad boys going. That should do it. Oh. I guess I need to craft a few of these. Alright, let's go add another train into the network. That's something we've needed for a while now. Un locomotive. Apparently I already have some cargo wagons. I mean, I've only had 2 trains, right? It says I have 5. Oh, that one doesn't count, and the fuel load doesn't count. So yeah, I only have 2 solids trains. That's crazy. I mean, it shows you how effective trains are at throughput. I've put a decent amount of stuff on trains at this point, and we've still only had the need for 2 of them. Sometimes we've noticed that 2 isn't enough, but a lot of the time it has been enough. Solids depot. Okay, there we go. Are these doing anything? I don't think they're even doing anything. I don't need them for just a depot. Yeah, might as well add another one. I'm right here. Add station. Solids depot. Go. Okay, so now we've got 4 trains, and that should be... I probably need a second fluid wagon. I think 2 will be plenty for quite a while, you know, because right now, like, I think 1 is plenty in terms of throughput, but if, you know, 2 requests happen around the same time, we're going to have an issue. But how often are 3 going to happen around the same time? That's way less likely if things are randomly distributed. So we should be okay in that sense. Sorry, I just need a sip of water here. Okay, so anyway, what was I doing? I needed to... The Vrauk's going over here. Ka-chunk. Now... I'm just trying to figure out what exactly I can do here. So I can just steal the cocoons. And steal the flora. And steal the water barrels. And then input sap directly. Of course, I can't make sap farms because I need dirt. Or soil, some may call it. And then I also need sap trees, which... Let's be honest, I should probably take all my animal stuff, you know, like the cDNA producer stuff and all the random sap trees I have in a box and move them over to the east. Let's pick all that up. I know we have sap on trains, but at least for this application, I don't really think it's worth a train request, to be honest. Okay, so we have our chest full of buildings. And I think I'll put the sap seeds and sap trees in there. Wait, what? Oh, fun. Those are getting produced automatically. In this case. I love automagic. Okay, so how much worse is this for breeding regular Vrauks? 5% for an average of 25.5 Vrauks. So that means it's producing an average of about 1 regular Vrauk. Slightly more than 1 Vrauk per recipe. And this is making 2 Vrauks out of 10 cocoons. This is making 1 Vrauk out of 50 cocoons. So it's about 1/10 the Vrauk output. Not to mention, I guess the flora is only about double the price per Vrauk. And then there's extra sap, and water is kind of irrelevant. Okay. You want to be barrels. You want to be cocoons. Oh wait, that's all we need? And then the food will request. Okay. Okay, boom. Boom. And then... get those going. Now those are going to steal barrels out of circulation. Is that going to be a problem? How many... actually, yeah, it is going to be a problem. I think I need more barrels to stack up there. Good thing we're producing them. Throw another 100, 150, whatever, they're cheap. Throw 150 barrels into circulation. Right here. And then... should do it. And then we have a requester chest right here. Vrauk food. Where can I pick up 2 Vrauks? I guess I can just steal some. There's 1, there's 2. Okay. Get that started. And then the sap trees need power. I don't even know if that's enough. 16 a minute. No, we're not. That's not even enough sap. But this would need 1 Vrauk cocoon a second to run, which all 4 of these together is only making half of that. So I think we're actually fine with 2 sap extractors. That'll never outpace the cocoon rate. I think what I'm gonna do, actually, now that I'm changing my mind. Oh, here come the first logistics bot deliveries. Look at them go. Pew, pew, pew. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, the per minute rate, even at full speed, is 4, but it's not going to be going at full speed, so it will not take very many bots to maintain that delivery schedule. Anyway, what I'm thinking is we need another... We're still short on the water barrels, huh? I wonder if that number needs to go up a little bit. It should catch up. I think I want another repro complex specifically running for this. Because to output, and this is helpful to do, because what is this representing? Well, it means to output 1 Vrauk Mark II, we need 6,000 repro complex seconds, right? That's what that means. So that means, I think, God, look at the costs. I think this is doing the math properly, right? So that just means, on average, it's going to take me 2 hours to get a single Vrauk Mark II. I think that's what that means, right? Let's kind of look at the math here. So the speed here is... is 1. So it's 30 seconds per recipe. So 30 seconds... it would take 3,000 seconds. Yeah, no, that's right. 6,000 seconds is exactly right. But that's 6,000 seconds of constant running. It's 10,000 Vrauk cocoons. Good lord, that's 100 stacks of Vrauk cocoons. Oh my gosh. Talk about insane. That is pretty insane. I know we're not dealing with spoiled flora here either, but I'm hoping we won't need to, because this should be running pretty consistently. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna add another repro complex just to make eggs specifically for that. But I'm out of something, probably titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. A little bit more of that, a little bit more of that. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. How do I find a building to produce? There we go. Stone brick, eh? Wait, how did I end up with 3 of these? I don't know. So now we need sap. What? How many? Oh god. Oh god. It's gonna take 20 hours of just one of these running. Well, I definitely need an extra one. But this is gonna steal all of my cocoons, this inserter, because of where it's at on the belt. So I need to limit that somehow. And then the flora. Here, let's do it this way. So that can take flora and water barrels for that. Oh, we have empty barrels that I'm not getting rid of. That's kind of important. Okay, empty barrels. Go back onto that belt. And then the cocoons. I know this is a bit spaghetti, but that's okay. It's temporary. Then again, all spaghetti is temporary, isn't it? So then we need to grab 2 more sap extractors. Which I think my bots are going to actually be capable of fulfilling, which is kind of cool. We don't normally get to see that, so that's fun. And then maybe we can find a Vrauk or 2 on this belt. There's one. Come here, buddy. Oh, did I already get him? I think I already got him. Yeah, I got him. Okay. So this will just help with the whole situation. That is going to increase our needs again slightly. I'm going to go to 440. I'm going to go to 400 here. I think we have enough barrels for all of it, but we'll go to 200 on the belt. Or even 220. And maybe I do need another 50 barrels, because that's running out. Alright, barrels. Where are we going? Right here. Is that just not fast enough? No, it is, it is. Okay, it's stopping based on its behavior. Good, good. That's what we want. Okay, so anyway, all of that should result in me not having moss. Right. Did I not? Oh, right. Gotta hit the use filters button. Very important. Very important to hit the use filters for filters to actually use the filters. I know that that's crazy. Crazy talk. Absolutely crazy talk, but it's true. Alright, so that's good. And then that way we're measuring, or we're adding in some cocoons here. And then this one is just going to slow itself down based on like, hey, only enable if cocoons are less than like 2. So that way it won't steal, like if it, oh, we need to read the belt. That way it won't just steal like all the cocoons from this belt, but it will keep some steady flow going into the phase 2 Vrauk breeding program. Finally, I guess this one needs to be filtered on both, because regular Vrauks need to get shoved back onto the system too. But if we get the special one, then we have an alarm that goes off. Let me craft a few of those. And if anything greater than 0, You go nuts. I wish there were more sounds. I like that one. Alright, I wish we had more sounds, I'm gonna be honest. And we'll do Vrauk Mark II symbol. Hooray! We win! Alright. Cool. So we'll see how many recipes it takes to win. Products finished, we expect to see 200 as our result. The expected amount is 200. The actual amount that we will end up getting could be anything. Could be 5, could be 10,000. It is extremely unlikely to be 10,000. Like, I should go buy a lottery ticket if it's 10,000. Granted, that's not how luck works, but, you know, we joke about it. We're working that way. Anyway, I think I'm good to go now. We can leave this alone. It is going to slow my formic acid production, but we have rubber on trains next, and ever since we improved our rubber, I'm not as worried about the whole latex situation, so I think we'll be okay on that front. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to do here. I think it's all working. Spoilage isn't handled on this belt. Am I okay with that? This should run frequently enough, and it's always taking flora off of this belt. I mean, it should be okay, but like, it's technically possible that it ends up breaking, which means I would be regretful. So let's do fluorospilinin and that, just in case something goes weird. I guess it could also spoil the building, but that's really unlikely. But also just in case. We'll handle it there, and then hey, look, it's convenient. We can also put one right there. Okay, perfect. So we're collecting fluorospilinin from all the places it could exist. I don't think that's going to be necessary, but that worked out. So we'll do it. And yeah, expected time to Vrauk Mark II is 10,000 cocoons, which is somewhere between 1 and 10 hours of production. It's about six hours of production of all of my cocoons at the current rate, and I'm not using all of them. I did just add in 25% more production, so it would be 24 hours of a single repro complex expected value. That's insane. Good gracious. I think it's closer to 22 hours or something if we were running them at full speed. 80,000 seconds? Is that a joke? That's not a joke. Wow. Yeah, that's over 20 hours. 20 hours is 72,000 seconds. So, now the question is though, what if we were using the new recipe for cocoons? I forgot we have access to that. I could switch over. And adding one Vrauk food into the mix. Sadly, everything else doubles, so it's not more efficient on any of the other fronts. It just makes things faster. It actually makes cocoons more expensive, but it would only be 10 hours, more than twice as fast to produce them that way. But it requires the same amount of moss, sap, flora, and I guess we save on water. Big whoop. That's like the cheapest, easiest thing, so nobody cares about that. Anyway, so is that even worth doing? we would need more moss, but we are making a lot of moss here. Making more moss than we need even, but I know some of that's going to augs and stuff, so I don't know for sure if that's even what we need. I don't know, this is all a bit tricky. I think I'm just gonna leave it. It'll work eventually. Currently we're at 6 products finished and no success. 6 out of 200 expected. So that's 3% of the way done. I wish probability worked that way. It does not. Something Lodra was saying in the podcast is that one of the fun things about Pi is just being on the Pi Discord and commiserating with everybody or celebrating with everybody, depending on how you rolled on these chance-based things. You know, like some people get it on their first try or whatever. It's like, oh my god, look at this, like this is amazing. Other people, they highlight it and it says products finished like 422 and they still haven't gotten their Vrauk Mark II and they're just in tears. And that is a really fun part, you know, about pyanodons is, and that's the same with like Space Age now with all the gambling for quality. There's something fun about that because not everyone has the same experience, and going into it you don't know which experience you're going to have. And I do think that suspense is something that Factorio was kind of sorely lacking, and I think that's part of why people have enjoyed Space Age so much too, is because they didn't know exactly what to expect when they get to a planet. I think Space Age, you know, is a really great experience as a novel experience. I do think it's a really great experience for a lot of other reasons too, but I think part of what makes it great is the novelty of like, you don't know what to expect, and that's really fun, and it's not something we've had in Factorio for a long time. I didn't really want these to be blueprints, so let's delete those. And yeah, I think we're gonna call it an episode there. We've got Vrauk Mark II's running, which wasn't on my list, but I'm gonna say that we did that. And then get rid of sodium hydroxide. I guess the question is, are we globally or locally trashing that? I think we still want to global trash it, because I think sodium hydroxide shows up in a lot of byproduct situations. So we probably, for now, we have the local trash situation handled. Wait a second, what am I doing? Oh, and then we're going to need an additional byproduct sodium hydroxide station, because that's not what this is. Or I can put it into the super trasher. Wait, why did I not just put hydroxide into the super trasher? Doesn't that fit exactly what our goal is? I guess we just don't have the train station that requests it and deletes it into saline water. So we need that station, I guess, first. But once we have that station, then we can do it. Okay, so basically, let me rephrase this to sodium hydroxide, trasher, and provider station. So that's more clear to me in the future what we're actually doing with that. All right, and we'll put rubber on trains in the next episode, or we'll at least try to. And we are making progress. Look at this base. I'm digging it. By the way, I mentioned the podcast a minute ago. I forgot to like take a half step back. If you don't know, I host a podcast called The Factory Must Grow. I host it with Galdoc, who's another Factorio content creator and a mod maker. Awesome guy. We started co-hosting recently, but there's tons of episodes in the backlog. I get people to interview, and we talk about Factorio. I've had people like Catherine of Sky and Dosh Doshington and Rygard, you know, who's a dev, and all sorts of other people. Bold Viking, who beat Pi. We've had multiple people now that have beat pyanodons. I think 3 or 4 now. We've had Simon, we've had Lodro, we've had Bold Viking, and I think that's it for now. Hopefully I'm not missing somebody. I might be forgetting somebody. But anyway, yeah, it's just been really fun to have different content creators on, talk about different factory games. The focus is mostly Factorio, but we talk about other factory games from time to time. Like I had, you know, JD Plays on, and we talked about some different games, and I had Wally on, and he talked about all sorts of games, because he loves to try like kind of the more indie factory automation games that aren't like the mainstream big ones. And so he had a lot of really cool games to talk about. But anyway, all that to say, go check out the podcast if you're interested. It's been a lot of fun, and I've had a lot of fun creating it. And yeah, anyway, that's about all I have to say about that. I'm just enjoying looking at all of our stuff. Behold my stuff. Oh, these buildings are colored based... I was like, why are these buildings red? It keeps bothering me, but it's just because that's the color of refined syngas. Ooh, where's this train going? Moss for food? Sounds like something you'd say in Settlers of Catan. Wood for sheep. Wood for sheep. Alright, Vrauk food is backed up now. That's awesome to see. Which means these buildings should be disabled, right? So when the agar spoils, then we won't be making more. Awesome. The other nice part about how trains work is it's naturally going to be in big chunks. Like if you had all of your base belt connected or logistics bot connected, there would be a steady drip of Vrauk food. And so then the buildings would turn on, and then they'd make a big wave of agar, and then it would back up, and then maybe it would be off long enough to spoil, but then we'd use a couple more Vrauk food, and then they'd turn on again, and you'd have this kind of constant wave of spoilage. But this way, it backs up, you get one wave of spoilage, and then it still doesn't do anything for a long time. Because we're not requesting Vrauk food again for a long time. And then eventually, it finally, you know, moves 500 Vrauk food again, and then we don't have another wave of spoilage until it's all the way backed up. So that is a nice thing about a train system, is that you end up with less spoilage on these situations. Anyway, we're gonna call it an episode. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next one.